McCarlan's through, he might go for it, still going, trying to barge his way through, goes to the shot, what a goal!
Arriving Rian O'Neill from an almost impossible angle, and that's the rousing score now we're looking for.
Conor Turbin kicks this one in, that's absolutely superb.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. We're here for our review show as usual, our club roundup show, and we have two senior championship playoffs to discuss, as well as three junior quarterfinals, and the senior quarterfinal draw was taking place on Sunday as well, so we'll catch it up at the end of the show. As usual, we have two parts of the podcast. We have the first part, which was Saturday's games, and then we'll go through Sunday's games as well in part two. So to begin part one, St Michael's and Portmore met in the junior championship quarterfinal on Saturday in Abbey Park, and it was Portmore who earned their place in the last four of the junior championship with a 5-point victory. They led at the break and pushed on in the second half with a brilliant display. Portmore had the breeze at their backs after the turnaround, and they made it count on the scoreboard. The accuracy of Ryan Gorman and the creative play of David Curran were the key components for Portmore's victory. St Michael started exceptionally well, kicking the first 3 points of the game inside the opening 7 minutes to fly into a 3-0 lead. Full forward Aidan Davidson, with the breeze at his back, kicked all 3 points, including 2 frees. Ryan Gorman responded for Portmore with a free before he traded scores with Davidson. A fisted score from Cormac McKeon, as well as another from John McLaughlin, levelled things up around the 20-minute mark. Jude Lavery nudged Portmore ahead for the very first time before Brian Caherty tied things up. Conor Agnew then claimed the final score of the opening half, and that gave Portmore a 0-6 to 0-5 advantage at the break. Ryan Gorman and Aidan Davidson traded scores at the start of the second half before Conor Agnew grabbed his second of the day. David Curran then opened his account before Gorman brace, both frees, made it a 5-point game. Curran added a second as Portmore continued to grow their tally, although Davidson slotted over one of St Michael's 2 scores in the second period, and that kept them in the hunt. Gorman added another from the dead ball, while St Michael's claimed the final score of the day through wing-back Joe McClellan. That was as close as the Newtown men got, and it's Portmore who advanced to the semi-finals. So Portmore scorers, Ryan Gorman top scored on the day. He hit 6 points, with 5 of those coming from frees. David Curran, Conor Agnew both hit 2 points apiece, while Cormac McKeon, John McLaughlin and Jude Lavery all chipped in with a score as well. For St Michael's, they had 3 different scores. Aidan Davidson top scored with 6 points, 3 of those coming from frees. Brian Caherty and Joe McClellan also got in on the scoring act, and they scored a point apiece. So on Saturday evening then, it was over to the Boxit Athletic Grounds as Crossmaglen made their way to the Senior Championship quarterfinals with a win over neighbours Silverbridge. 2 goals in either half, both from Aaron O'Neill, younger brother of Oisín and Rian, were the main scorers for the reigning champions. The Bridge were comfortably ahead by 6 points nearing the end of the first half, but Cross stormed back into contention. Once the Rangers got their noses ahead, they stayed there and remain on course for a 3rd championship title in a row. Crossmaglen claimed the opening score with Pierce Blessing splitting the posts inside the first 60 seconds. That was their last contribution on the scoreboard for 26 minutes, where the Bridge hit 1-4 on the bounce. Finan Burns got them up and running before they claimed the game's opening goal. Tiernan Murphy's free kick dropped short, and after bouncing off Stephen Morris's fingertips and the crossbar, Mark Rowland punched the ball to the net. Cross passed up 2 goal-scoring chances in quick succession, with Cian McConville firing wide, while Daniel McKeown, the Silverbridge goalkeeper, denied Paul Hughes from close range. Charlie O'Burns, Tiernan Murphy and Joe Rock all raised white flags as Silverbridge edged 1-4 to 0-1 ahead. But a strong final 10 minutes from the Rangers saw them sail right back into contention. A huge Oisin O'Neill score was followed by points from Owen Kieran and Morris, with O'Neill creating the latter score. Tiernan Murphy slotted over a second from the dead ball, but a cross-McGinn goal from Aaron O'Neill, who reacted quickest after McKeown saved the initial shot from minor Aaron Hahe, left 1 point the difference at half-time. Silverbridge led 1-5 to 1-4 when the short whistle sounded. It was more or less score for score in the second half, with Cian McConville splitting 2 points from Tiernan Murphy and Charlie O'Byrnes early on. Owen Kieran also matched a Murphy point, while Morris and the Comiskey brothers, Daniel and Harry, put the Rangers 1 point ahead again. Murphy and McConville exchanged efforts, as did Rian O'Neill and Sean Rock with frees. Then Cross claimed their second goal as a long ball from Rian O'Neill found his younger brother Aaron, and he drove home a fabulous effort to the bottom corner. Pierce Blessing notched a second, which was cancelled out at the other end by a sixth converted free from Tiernan Murphy, while Thomas O'Duffy also got in the scoring act late on, kicking the last point of the day to give the Rangers a 5-point win in the end. So scorers in that game then, Aaron O'Neill was the top scorer for Cross. He got the 2 goals, while Cian McConville, Stephen Morris, Owen Kieran and Pierce Blessing all kicked 0-2 apiece. Oisin O'Neill, Daniel Comiskey, Harry Comiskey, Rian O'Neill and Thomas O'Duffy all scored 0-1. Tiernan Murphy was the top scorer for Silverbridge. He kicked 6 points, all from frees. Some brilliant efforts as well, especially into the breeze in the second half. Mark Rowland got their goal, while Charlie O'Byrnes hit 2 points, and Sean Rock, Joe Rock and Finn Burns all claimed 1 point apiece for the Bridge as well. So that's all of Saturday's action. We'll be back in part 2, and we'll have all Sunday's action as well as the draw for the Senior Championship quarterfinals. So on to Sunday's action then, and we'll start with the Junior Championship. There were 2 more Junior Championship quarterfinals played on Sunday, as well as the Senior Championship playoffs. So we'll start with College Land and St Peter's Seconds. This was in Clonmore on Sunday, and College Land secured their spot in the Junior Championship semi-final with a hard-fought victory over St Peter's Seconds. 5 points was the difference in the end, with College Land winning 14 to 115 in a thoroughly entertaining game of football. An early goal put the pre-match favourites ahead, 1-2 to 0-3 after 15 minutes, but it was St Peter's who led at half-time. A second quarter surge saw the Lurgan side march into the half-time break with a 3-point advantage, 0-10 to 1-4. Things were finally balanced by the end of the third quarter, with the sides both having hit the net with a 2-9 to 112. However, a third College Land goal arrived in the last quarter, and that saw them pick up a 5-point win. Keelan McQuaid was once again the leading light in the College Land attack, and he impressed with an impressive haul of 2-5 on the day. Stephen McKenna raised a green flag for Paul Doyle's side, while goalkeeper Niall Brady kicked 0-3, as did corner forward Jason Kelly. For St Peter's, Fergal Moore claimed their only goal of the game, and he also finished top scorer for them with 1-1. Sam Marshall claimed 0-3 from wing half back, while Ryan McCrory, Colin Fern, Conor Lavery and Keith Totten claimed 0-2 apiece. Elsewhere, Forkhill also booked their spot in the last 4 of the Junior Championship, as they saw off Lesummon by 9 points. 2 first-half goals helped the Division 3A winners on their way, while they also hit the net after the turnaround. Lesummon, Junior Championship finalists in 2002, claimed a goal of their own in the second half, but it wasn't enough to close the gap at the end. Forkhill finished the game strongly and extended their advantage to 9 by the time the final whistle sounded. Tom O'Hagan was the scoring option up front for Lesummon, and he opened the scoring with a free, but it was cancelled out at the other end by Jamar Hall. Hall added a second 10 minutes later to put his side 2-1 ahead before Forkhill fired home 2 goals. Colin McGill punched home the first goal, while Stephen Sheridan slotted home the second, and they were both set up by Jamar Hall. But Lesummon replied with 4 points on the trot in an impressive period of a purple patch, with Michael Robinson kicking 2, O'Hagan getting a second, and Ryan Roverty also raising a white flag. Cormac Toner and Jamar Hall got Farkill's end of the scoring board ticking once again, and that was with a point apiece. Michael Robinson stroked over his third, this time from a mark, to narrow the gap to 4 points by the time the half-time whistle sounded, with the scoreline reading 2-4 to 0-6. Frank Mackle and Aaron Fahy swung over scores at the start of the second half to extend the Farkill lead to 6. The two teams then raised green flags at either end of the field, with Shane Mackle and Oren Campbell both claiming 3-pointers. Jamar Hall top scored for Farkill on the day, and he finished the game with an impressive haul of 0.5, while Sheridan and McGill both hit 1-1. Michael Robinson top scored for Lassummon with 0.4, while it was Shane Mackle who grabbed their goal, and he was their second top scorer on the day. On to the senior championship then, and it was off to Silverbridge for the final playoff game, and Clevey confirmed their place in the last 8 of the senior championship as they defeated Greenmore 113-09. Clevey were the better team on show and picked up their third win on the trot following group stage victories over Cullaville and Silverbridge. Stephen McDonald's side nudged themselves ahead during the opening period, and they never surrendered control after that. Greenmore continued to battle right until the very end, but they couldn't get the scores that would change the game for them. Pete Carr sliced over the opening score of the day after 30 seconds, and Greenmore could have added a goal to their tally. Fullback Carol McQuaid broke forward and was through one-on-one with Shane McGill, the Clevey goalkeeper, but his fine save denied a goal for Greenmore. Callum O'Hare tied things up, while Oisin King and Padraig Doyle both raised white flags at either end of the field. Ronan McGuinness and Keown McConville both swung over scores, opening up a 2-point gap for Clevey. Now McGuinness and Padraig Doyle exchanged efforts, while Micheál McNamee opened his account with a pointed free. Kieran O'Hanlon and Michael King cancelled each other out before the break, with Clevey ahead by 3 points at half-time, 0-7-0-4. Clevey grew that advantage at the start of the second period as they registered the first 3 points after the turnaround. The impressive Shane McGill slotted over a free kick, while Micheál McNamee and Keown McConville claimed a point apiece. Owen O'Neill got Greenmore up and running for the second half, but his effort was matched by a second free from Shane McGill. Callum O'Hare and substitute Conor Rafferty swapped scores, as did Padraig Doyle and Shane McGill. Carr grabbed a second, Pete Carr that is, for Greenmore, while Jason O'Neill slotted over a free to offer Greenmore a chance late on and leaving 4 points between the sides. But a hit and hope ball into the square was brilliantly caught by Kieran O'Hanlon, and that started the move that ended with an Aaron McGuinness goal, the substitute, impressing after coming on and firing a shot low to the bottom corner. So that sent Clevey into the quarterfinals, and we now know the quarterfinal draw. It took place after that game on some absolute mouth-watering ties to look forward to here. We have Cullyhanna and Crossmaglen, Clondigale Clevey, Malden Mullabone and Armagh Harps against Clonerne. We also have times, fixtures, venues and everything else for the senior and the intermediate draw. So I'll just read them out as follows. These are all coming up this weekend. On Friday night, Carcruppen take on the Grange in Clady, while Wolf Tones take on Onachmore in David Park. So they're both on Friday night. Then this is Saturday we move into. This remains the intermediate championship. It's Pearse Ogue against Clonerne Seconds in St Paul's at 3:30. Then a double header in the Boxhead Athletic Grounds with 2 senior championship games. It's Clondigale against Clevey, followed by the Harps and Clonerne. So they're both there at 5:30 and at 7:30. Sunday's action then, there's one junior championship quarterfinal yet to be played. That's Ballyhagan against Middletown in Abbey Park at 1 o'clock on Sunday. In Pearse Ogue Park at 2:30 is St Paul's against Derrynoose. And then another double header in the Boxhead Athletic Grounds at 4 and 6 o'clock. It's Malden against Mullabone, followed by Cullyhanna and Crossmaglen. So a lot of action look forward to. That's 9 championship games, all knockout to look forward to next weekend. So we'll be covering that, of course, as we usually do with our previews, our interviews, our team of the weeks, our top scores and everything else. And we'll have a preview show hopefully on Thursday as well. And we'll look forward to all those games. So make sure to tune in on Thursday and make sure to follow us on all our social media pages. We're the #1 page for all club championship coverage across the junior, intermediate and senior. And make sure to follow us on all our social media pages and subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify channels if that's where you get your podcast. So we'll be back on Thursday with another preview show. Look forward to seeing everybody then.
Summit hurls through, he may go for it, still going, trying to barge his way through, goes to the shot, what a goal!
Arriving Rian O'Neill from an almost impossible angle, and that's the rousing score now we're looking for.
Connor Turbin kicks this one in. Oh, that's absolutely superb.